the main sort of topic, the main news this week is that Scarlett Johansson is suing the mouse, suing Disney. So I've done a little bit of digging into this because like I'm not great with legal jargon, so I've tried to make sort of heads or tails of this. And from what I gather, you know, like Black Widow was kind of delayed time and time again, to the point that you and me were like, this film doesn't exist, it's never coming out. It's like, yeah, Black Widow is fake news, and they were probably doing it to try and avoid this whole shebang that's gone on. But they actually ended up doing like a day and date release with Disney Plus, and now Scarlett is suing for breach of contract. Now she alleges that this move to release it kind of on Disney Plus as well as in cinemas has cost her millions of dollars in what they call back-end compensation.
So it definitely has. I'm sorry, I'm just going to talk over you a little bit here.
No, you go for it, man. You get straight into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, Disney's contract with Scarlett said that it would only be released in cinemas, and she'll receive a percentage of the profits.
Like a bonus.
Yeah, and she did receive a percentage of the profits that from the film cinema release, but it did get released on Disney Plus as well, day and date. So Disney are in breach of contract here.
But not according to them. Not according to them.
According to them, they're fine. But I want to point out, Warner Brothers had a very similar style contract with a lot of their talent, some of their directors and some of their actors. And when it came out that they were instead going to be releasing it on a streaming service, those contracts were renegotiated to account for that. Warner Brothers, right? Warner Brothers did that, right?
So yeah, I think this is a case of, you know, I'm Disney and I can do what I want because I fucking own everything, and what are you going to do about it?
So it is really a bit of that, or they've thought, well, we'll win if. They definitely never thought Scarlett Johansson would sue them for fear of her own public image, I am sure.
Oh, no, definitely not, mate. Definitely not. Like,
I'm quite surprised that she's done this. A lot of people are giving her some hate online, but those were people that were going to give her hate anyway. Those are the Brie Larson bad crowd, you know, from what I can tell.
Brie Larson bad, and probably the same people that had a go. I think
SJWs are taking over. Politics is taking over Hollywood, as if like politics was never in. And you know what? Let's not get into it.
No, yeah.
Films are one of the most political mediums on the planet and always have been. But right.
Yeah, the two kind of go hand in hand, and as much as we try and separate it on this podcast in particular, it's really difficult to, especially when something like this comes along. And like you said, like Scarlett Johansson's going to be getting hate regardless from that kind of crowd. Probably the same people that were giving Disney shit for firing Gina Carano, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I said that to you, didn't I? The same people attacking Scarlett Johansson over this were the same people that were pissed off about Disney firing Gina Carano.
They stand for fucking nothing, though, don't they?
No,
really?
they do.
They just go off. Like...
Jay, they stand to own the libs, mate. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh god, yeah, like the people that have got owning libtards in their fucking Twitter bios, scum of the earth, mate. But no, I mean, you could easily say, "Oh, boo-hoo," you know, she's made millions of dollars out of this. What is she complaining about? And I completely fucking disagree with that, because if you sign a contract with an employer that says you're going to earn like X amounts, it's shitty practices when your employer then sort of does some shoddy dealing behind your back and doesn't renegotiate your contract. And that's true whether you earn a standard salary like you and me, or whether you earn millions as an athlete, or whether you earn millions as an actress. She is more than within her rights.
But you think if Scarlett Johansson broke her contract with Disney, they wouldn't have an action? Of course they fucking would.
They'd flog her in the fucking
I'm
street,
sorry, they broke their contract. It doesn't matter how much she's already made 20 million. She wants more. How fucking great? No,
It
doesn't matter.
It's not greed. It's not greed. It's getting what you are owned.
And you know what this does? This sets a precedent that Disney can do whatever the fuck they want if she loses. The next person that comes around and gets fucked by the mouse isn't going to be someone who can afford to sue them, right?
Yeah. No,
it's going to be a writer that poured his heart and soul into a film and gets 20 quid. It's going to be, something like that. It's These huge high profile cases are necessary for the rest of the industry to function properly when you have monstrous corporations like Disney breaching their own contracts.
Well, Disney's essentially a monopoly now, isn't it? I think it's been very careful to avoid falling under that definition, but it is essential. It's like this giant juggernaut.
I mean, kind of not.
Potentially thinks it's bulletproof. And exactly what you said. It's not unheard of for this to happen, but it's never someone like this high profile. They hire a lot of low end talent, not low end, but like sort of like,
and never mind, like,
not as high profile. Like,
never mind how high profile she is. It's to me, it's more about how long she's worked with Disney.
Oh my god! Do you know who's not happy about this?
Our mate Kev.
Our mate Kev, like, he hasn't commented publicly, I should say that, but one source that's quite close to him, I believe it's a Hollywood Reporter editor, claims that Feige is angry and embarrassed over Disney's handling of the situation and was allegedly against the Disney Plus release of Black Widow from the start. Now, imagine spending as long as you have a Kevin fucking Feige with that talent and building up a rapport with someone and putting that much time and effort into this person, and then through things that you cannot control, this kind of shit happens. It's bad for Marvel. It's bad. Yeah. It's bad for Disney more than anything, but it's a really bad. And it's such bad PR for Marvel.
Disney's
when
response
one of your star,
was disgusting. I mean, let me see if it's on one of these articles.
I've got it here. There is no merit. There is no merit whatsoever for this filing. The lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the virus that should not be named pandemic. That they didn't address the claim that they'd ignored the attempts to renegotiate the contracts, and they've drawn a lot of criticism for releasing a salary, because they go on to say, the release of Black Widow on Disney Plus with Premier Access has significantly enhanced Scarlett's ability to earn additional compensation on top of the $20 million she has already received. That's bad. That to put a fucking salary out there. This is
the fucking week of enormous multi-billion-dollar companies coming out with just the worst fucking PR takes. What is this? Come on, you blaming COVID? What's this got to do with anything?
Yeah, no, it's
why are you throwing COVID around? Address the points that are being made, for fuck's sake. And it's the same. Definitely. It's exactly the same thing. We're not going to go that much in detail about Activision Blizzard, but it was the same thing with them. Just address the fucking points that are being made. Like,
it's the same as politicians, though. To apologise or to address the points is like to admit fault, and they don't like to do that. Like these corporations, they don't like to be seen to be admitting anything, even though the evidence is there for everyone to fucking see, and you'd have way more credibility if you were just like, you know what, all right, let's settle this out of court. We'll pay the reparations that you feel like you're owed, and that's it. But they've come out swinging, like you said, throwing the kind of C word around there, and I think that's sort of like bulletproof. You can't do that because we've released this to keep people safe if they don't want to go to the cinema. You can't do that because it's all because of COVID, kind of thing. But no, it doesn't fly like that. It doesn't work like that, Disney. No. You're not as fucking bulletproof as you think you are, and this is going to be an interesting case to follow. And I really hope that Scarlett gets a day in court over this. Like, fair play to her. Yeah.
So our mate Kev reportedly angry and embarrassed. So this is a third party account. This is nothing that he's come out and said himself. I would imagine it to be true because he knows how this makes the MCU look. This stuff like this happening can scare off potential future talent.
Definitely.
It can make contracts harder to renegotiate with his current actors.
Marvel have been very.
It just makes them as a company look shitty. And the consumers to not be as interested in watching it, really.
Yeah, we're not getting that fucking Emily Blunt Sue Storm now. Do you know what I mean? That's gone. That's a bridge that's fucking burnt. That's not happening.
Yeah, but that's the press's fault more than anything.
No, yeah, absolutely. But Marvel have been very, very, very quick to kind of, I say Marvel, it might be Marvel and Disney. They've been quick to kind of react to this. There was a TV commercial for the Eternals that played during the Olympics on NBC, and it very clearly only in cinemas November 5th. So that's not getting a day and date release with Disney Plus.
Well, no, I mean they made a lot of money off the Black Widow one, but it's very obvious that Disney don't like doing it.
No, yeah, I mean
Disney want their films to be only in cinemas for a while longer because they understand the allure of the exclusivity to a cinema. They understand that people fucking pirate it. People will. I'm sorry. A large percentage of the cinema-going audience will pirate it if a good version is out day and date. It's just not something you get around. You probably lose 20% of your box office alone by piracy.
It makes a day and date release like this makes it very vulnerable to piracy. You're 100% right. Absolutely.
Well, that's how I watched it. I'll be honest.
It's your fault, Jord.
It's my fault. Well, it's not, because the only reason I'm admitting to this is because I did have a ticket. I did have a ticket to go and see it.
Yeah.
And on that day, I had to self-isolate, and I thought, fuck, I've paid to see this film. I'm not paying again.
I've got to watch it for my podcast, mate.
I did have to watch it for the podcast. I didn't drop 15 quid on a cinema ticket to then drop 30 quid on Disney Plus just for one fucking person to watch it once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm pirated. I don't care.
No, I'll fucking validate that with you, man. I've paid for it. I paid for me and my partner to go watch it, so I'll validate you. I'll fucking back you till the death, mate. Ride together, die together.
Cheers, mate. And you know what? It's not like Marvel are missing out on much of my money, is it?
No, I was gonna say, man. Like,
if they go under tomorrow, it's not my fault. I promise.
It's sent some ripples through the fucking industry. A lot of people are weighing in on it. You know, Emma Stone now went through a similar thing with Cruella, and she's reportedly weighing her options. Dave Bautista, who likes to get involved with shit like this,
I'm getting sick of Dave Bautista.
But he did a very tongue-in tweet in. That's difficult to say. Tongue-in-cheek tweet.
No, see, I don't think it was tongue-in-cheek. His tweet was.
Told them they should have made a Drax movie, but no. And it's kind
so
of
what he's saying is, I don't think he's making light of the situation. I think he's completely shitting on Scarlett Johansson. I think what he's saying there is, Disney, I wouldn't have done this, mate. I'd have been more loyal. I wouldn't have tried to publicly fuck you over and stuff like that. Which is kind of fucking bollocks, because that's all he's been doing for like the past month.
No, he's just been talking so much smack about Marvel.
There's no point to his tweet. Exactly, there's no point to his fucking tweet. He's bitter now, but he didn't actually add anything to the situation. He made a comment that wasn't even really funny.
I did that thing. You know where you don't laugh at something, but you kind of breathe heavily through your nose. You know. Do you know what I mean? I did that.
I know
it got
you
that
mean,
reaction from me.
Nah, I think he's a knob. I think he's being a knob, and I really used to like the bloke, but I think he's being a knob about the whole Marvel Disney thing. And it's like, I hate people who, we had a bad experience. Forget that he's insanely privileged. That's an incel right wing argument point to take on something like this. Oh, he's privileged enough. You know, I'm not gonna go down that path. But it's more. The issues that he's had, it's been nothing significant, nothing that he should not be taking up internally to get resolved. And if it doesn't get resolved, you fucking move on. Right, you don't need to be this little bitch who has some sort of minor disagreement with your studio and plasters it all over interviews and all over Twitter. Tell you what that's not going to do? Help you get hired in the future.
Would you call Dave Bautista a little bitch to his face?
Absolutely not. Are you fucking kidding me? I'd tell him he's a little bitch about Marvel on the internet, but I won't call him a little bitch.
The thing I take issue with is the fact that he was broke, and he said, by his own admission, he was completely broke before he got the role of Drax. So that this is the role that made your career. So just be a bit nicer about it, potentially. Do you know what I mean? Have a little bit of hubris, if that makes any sense. So, no, not hubris. Sorry, have a bit of humility about the whole thing.
I think that his gratefulness is towards James Gunn and not Marvel, and that's why. Which I think is pretty narrow-minded. It should be both. I understand why it's James Gunn, but James Gunn didn't fund the fucking film on his own. He didn't do all of the PR on his own.
It wasn't his passion project, you know what I mean? He didn't make the fucking 11 films or whatever that led up to Guardians of the Galaxy to build that hype, do you know what I mean? So just fucking he didn't need to weigh in on this. Likewise,
no, he didn't.
Dwayne Johnson.
Well, I don't mind him weighing in on it if he's actually got something to add to the situation.
Yeah, I'm a bit upset that, you know, sort of Scarlett's Marvel cohorts, like the Avengers cast, have just sort of been really quiet about this. They haven't said anything.
Well,
There's nothing...
I think there's been some stuff behind the scenes because a couple of weeks ago, Robert Downey Jr. got rid of every sort of Iron Man branding off his social media and unfollowed.
Oh, wow.
Unfollowed everything to do with everyone to do with Disney, including his former Avengers castmates, and that was a headline that we missed a couple of weeks ago. I didn't really want to cover it because I think it's a bit sad, and
that's so
and also
sad.
At the same point, it's like multi-millionaire falls out with his friends. Like, what kind of a shit news story is that? I don't want to cover that.
It's not the best news story. No. Dwayne Johnson's weighed in as well because he's sort of in a similar situation at the moment with Jungle Cruise, our favourite movie, 10 out of 10. Yeah, I've never seen it. I'm never gonna.
Oh, right. Okay.
But he says he has absolutely no intention of battling Disney for an anticipated loss of dollars. But I think that the crucial thing to remember there is that they actually went to him and renegotiated his contract, and they didn't with Scarlett. They ignored it. Allegedly, this is all allegedly. Do you know what I mean? But I think Dwayne Johnson's kind of Mr. Hollywood, isn't he? So he's gonna fucking toe the line, whatever comes down. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but he strikes me as kind of Mr. fucking Hollywood darling who, you know, they say jump, he says how high, like they say take protein shakes. He drinks as many as they are.
He's not going to go against any studio. He knows what position he's in.
Yeah. Well, that's.
He knows where his bread
that's
comes
his
from.
livelihood, isn't it?
Yeah.
But again, I don't
the whole
think
Dwayne Johnson, the whole appeal to him as an actor for the studios and for the movie going public is that he is a very inoffensive hard man.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. He's a very inoffensive, big muscular guy.
I don't.
Yeah, man.
I don't run out to watch it.
He's charismatic. He's racially ambiguous. He's fucking jacked. Like, what else? What more do you want? What more do you want, Hollywood?
They tested well with our focus groups. Like,
mate, he's white enough for the die-hard white people. He's not white enough for everybody else.
Fucking brilliant.
He's perfect, isn't he? He's like someone made him in a lab to be in films in 2021. You know.
Absolutely. I just don't think he picks his projects very well. Do you know what I mean? I just don't ever see him in a movie that I want to see.
Oh, he picks his projects by the paycheck, mate. That's why.
Do you know what though? I follow him on Instagram with his work.
I think he's a sound guy.
He's a nice dude.
And obviously he had a lot of involvement in a film that I have recommended to you on the podcast multiple times. Fighting with My Family.
Yes,
he's in it a little bit. He's putting on the whole. He does, putting on the whole rock shebang.
He's
himself.
The Rock in that he plays
the rock in it. Yeah, and there is an actually amazing scene in it that the main one that he's in. Obviously, he talks to family a little bit and stuff. Spoilers, but the main one he's in. Yeah, they walk up and they've just got to like the auditions for the. I want to say WWF, but it's
the WWE now, I believe.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, so the characters have just walked up and they're like absolutely starstruck and they're like, "Oh, can we take a picture?" And he instantly puts on like the in the ring The Rock persona and starts screaming at these kids and stuff like that. And then he's so convincing in it that you're like, "Oh my god, he might be a dick in this film." Like, and then he instantly switches and he's like nice guy again.
And then he's Dwayne again. Yeah. When I used to watch wrestling, like, and I'm talking about when I was a fucking a wee man. I was about 7, 8, 9, that kind of era of
also known as the wrestling key demographic.
Yes, exactly. The Rock was my favorite, absolutely. So, but no, I just don't feel like he's added anything to the conversation by saying, "Oh, well, I'm not going to sue him." I think it kind of diminishes what Scarlett's trying to achieve here, and that's why I said about her Marvel co-stars. I really wish someone would just come out and back her up. So, Twitch chat, what do you think? Your team Scarlett, your team Disney? Let us know.
1, 2, 3, 4. Gaming movies, anime, MUKKAPOD with Jord.